Six Flags America is officially closing after the 2025 season. Recently, it was announced from the new Six Flags Corporation that Six Flags America is closing down because of many different reasons, but this is very sad news to hear if you like the park or not. I know I'm a couple days late, but let's talk about it. It was said in a recent statement that I can put up on screen that they looked through their portfolio of parks and collections, and that Six Flags America and Hurricane Harbor were not a part of the strategic fit for the rest of the company. Which makes sense because Six Flags America was one of the least liked parks by many, and I didn't think that the park was going to close this soon though. The Six Flags Corporation is less than 1 year old, being that they merged last year in June, and they weren't able to keep all their 20 or so parks, which, by the way, over 20 parks in one catalog is insane. But they were going to shop some of these parks, and it was kind of inevitable. But this park, out of all of them, is kind of weird because of all the money that they just invested into it, which previously they didn't invest a dime into this park for years. It was getting so bad that people were making fun of them for saying that the only investment that they could get was a new trash can, and the moment that they decided to add new stuff and upgrade, they shut it all down. And you got many other parks like Michigan's Adventure, which I'm assuming now get chopped off too, but literally haven't gotten anything new in 20 years. They were ready to upgrade their old SLC and add a whole new area to the park, which could be chalked up to the old Six Flags regime just making these plans that they just couldn't cancel. But this leads us to what will happen to the park, and we don't really know. But so far, it seems like it's just going to be shut down and destroyed. But in the future, it could be bought and rebuilt into a new park or housing for people who live near the DC area, since 600 acres just outside the capital is insanely profitable land nowadays. But me personally, I think it's just going to be new housing, which is sad to see a theme park go under nowadays. But before the park closes, they will try to relocate as many of these rides as possible to still get the value, which would be interesting to see which of the rides that they keep and which of the rides they go and where the new parks will go. But I do think that not every ride can be relocated and will probably just be removed. Those being Batwing, Firebird, Roar, Wild One, and Superman the Ride. Batwing is just an old Vekoma, and yes, they do have old parts for it, but this thing is just outdated and never works from what I hear, and it just wouldn't be worth to move. Other rides fall in the similar category like Firebird and Roar, being that they're just plain bad rides, even though Firebird was the first ever B&M ride, so that will be a sad part of history to see go. Wild One is a sad loss, being that's an old Woody and that's iconic for the area, but they just aren't going to move it. There's no way. Then Superman, I just don't see any park being able to take this in. It's just so big and over 20 years old. Trying to move a hyper is not easy, and it takes up a lot of room that many parks just might not have, and it has to go on flat ground. It wouldn't work on any sort of hilly terrain. But some that I do see being moved are Joker's Jinx, their new SLC remodel, Great Chase, and Raging Cajun. Raging Cajun and Great Chase are just steel kids rides that could be moved easily to any park that needs a new family attraction. While Joker's Jinx and the SLC are on the older side, but aren't that big and can fit into smaller plots of land that I could see going to parks like Michigan's Adventure, Frontier Town, or Valley Fair that have not gotten a new ride in multiple years. Thanks for watching. Will you guys make it out to Six Flags America before they close? I know I'm going to try to get out there because, obviously, they're not going to be open for much longer. The one chance that I have to go, I got to at least try to make the most of it. But other than that, have a good day.